Hi, friends. Happy Tuesday that feels like Monday. I want to talk to you today about what to do when your child tells you they are bored. Maybe they are bored out of their mind. Maybe you have played with them for hours and hours and now you need to make dinner, do your own work, take care of the baby, whatever. And maybe you've even set them up with something that didn't hold their attention and now they're back. So, whatever it is, there's a couple of things about boredom. And the first thing I want to say is it's kind of a complex concept. So, if your child is able to tell you that they're bored, then I want to keep encouraging their critical thought process so they get to grow their development through this conversation. Number two is I want you to adjust your expectations because the way to get a child through boredom is through connection. And oftentimes, what I hear from parents is that kids say that they're bored right after the parent has disengaged from something. And so this might happen like right at a time when you sort of want to have your own little bit of time. And the way to get them through it so that you can have your own bit of time is through connection. And so, what I'm going to talk to you about right now is what you can actually say that supports connection. And that also supports kind of good development, critical thinking, so that your child can move through the boredom in a way that also allows you to do the dishes or make dinner or get a little bit of work done. So, say your child says, I'm so bored. Most of us tend to want to say, you have so many things to do, or go do X, Y, and Z, or you could jump on the trampoline or play bikes, or whatever. So, you go into this sort of, or I just played with you for 2 hours. So, it either tends to sort of like frenzied fixing or frustration. And remember, we're going for connection. And so I want to drop the frenzied sort of fixing. And I also want to drop the frustration and just like, okay, like you can come into relationship with me no matter how you are. Now, just because they're coming into relationship with you doesn't mean that you have to drop everything and go be with them, right? But you might say, oof, you're so bored. What should we do? When I'm bored, I like to read a book. What do you like to do when you're bored? It's kind of a complex feeling, so you can you can name that for them, reflect, connect, and then, sometimes we work with a tool called creative stupidity, where you're just opening up the space for the child to be able to do their own critical thinking about what they're going to do about their boredom. And that's going to look different depending on the child. So it's like, oof, you don't have to fix it. So, oof, that's hard. That's tricky. Sometimes even just like, or like, oh my gosh, right? Like vocalizations might be more powerful than words. But, I want to encourage you to turn away or not to fix it. Also, not to get frustrated, to name what's happening and open up the door. Now, you can hold your boundary. And, if you've got a younger child, you might offer a forced choice. Oh, you're bored. Mom has got some work to do, so you can pick. Are you going to spend this time jumping on the trampoline or playing in the sandbox? Sometimes kids legit don't know what to do. And so if that's the case, your child may need some direction around what the possibilities are. So you can offer a forced choice. Sometimes kids need to be anchored. So you might say, that's like needing you to sort of stabilize where they are. So you might say, I'm going to sit right here work on my emails. And you can sit across the table from me. Here's some things to color. And I think what you're really shooting for is connecting around the boredom. Keep it light. Excuse me. Go for humor, weaving a lot of humor in, and then not fixing, right? So allow your child to kind of sit in that feeling and figure out what to do with it, because boredom is a human emotion, and I want your child to be able to navigate through that. And yes, I want them to come into connection with you, and I want you to hold the boundary if it's time for your child to do some one-on-one play. I will also say that some children need a little bit of time to learn how to play on their own, and you can teach that skill with a lot of praise, okay? So, and a lot of practice. And so that might mean like, I'm going to do this for 10 minutes and you get to play on your own for 2 minutes or 10 minutes or during this time, right? And then you're going to offer heavy praise to your child, okay? So, like, wow, I see you doing it. And if you know that your kid can't manage it for very long, like say they can only manage it for 30 seconds, then I want you to make sure that you're offering praise and connection at second 29, right? So that they're getting the positive reinforcement. The consequence is positive reinforcement when they do the right thing, the thing that you're building up. That's how you're going to build up what more of what you want. When we focus too much on decreasing what we don't want, complaining of boredom or whining because of bored, we often inadvertently reinforce that either by but well, in many different ways. And so I want to make sure that I'm not reinforcing that. And the way to do that is to go the other direction. So making sure that you hold for yourself what your child can do in terms of independent play, and that you are intervening before things get challenging to offer praise. Know that some children need anchoring. They can sit across the table from you. Know that other children need pro-social direction about what to do. So you can offer a forced choice or some options. But I think most importantly is that when a child comes to you with a feeling like bored or any other kind of sort of challenging feeling, I don't want you to fix it for them, and I don't want you to get frustrated. So if you feel yourself starting to get frustrated, take a minute for yourself, even if it's in the bathroom, or take a minute for yourself, or get a hold of yourself. If you've worked with me and you have a keep calm phrase, and you start to feel a little frustrated, that's the time for your keep calm phrase. So taking a little bit of time, and then you can join the feeling, meet the child where they are, even in their bored, teach them the socially appropriate expression. Oof, I'm so bored. And then support them, offer some space, right? Where you have to sort of be in the vacuum of the boredom with your child, offer some space for them to do the resolving. I want your kids to know that you will be with them in whatever feeling, and you're going to hold the boundary, and they can come to you, right? And that they've got it. Like, I know you're going to figure something out. I don't know what it's going to be, right? So that you're really encouraging your child to work through that themselves and to start flexing their social emotional capacities and skills. Helping you to build calm and cooperative families is my mission. Take good care. I'll see you tomorrow.